Hello, 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 and we are live. Coach Hadassah here, metaphysician, personal development coach, wellness entrepreneur, and proud founding member of Extreme FX Global Academy. Because the money resides with Bitcoin. I said Bitcoin, Bitcoin, and Forex collide. I was trying to say Forex and Bitcoin at the same time, so it came out Bitcoin. But listen, I hope you all could hear me. I have this like microphone thing here. Um, I went streaming on my laptop today instead of on, my devices like my phone and sister's iPad. Well, I usually don't stream on sister's iPad, but yeah, so I'm trying to see so that I can do this regularly. So I don't know how this sounds. Let me see. I can bring this over here. The microphone. Testing 1 2 1 2. Right. Let's see. I hope it worked. Can I track out to 1 1 1 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 2 1 2. Okay. Y'all know I like to kid around. But listen, it is what's today? It's Friday. It is Financial Freedom Friday. We could call it whatever. We could call it Fun Friday, Freedom Friday, Financial Freedom Friday, Financial Fun Freedom Friday, whatever. But look, this is the end of the work week. Many people are like the children that I would hear behind me in the house that we lived in. We lived there for like 13 years, and it was a school right behind us. The school went from ages, it was like pre-K to first grade, pre-K to first grade. And I would always know when the children went out for recess because you would just, I mean, like literally, the school was right behind our house. And so our bedroom was right there. And you would hear the kids, they was screaming. That's when you know you let them out, they let them out for recess. And I was just like, wow, right? It was just sitting there like this. You have to be quiet and sit in the seats. And so by the time they let them outside, them kids was like crazy. And that's how many adults feel on Fridays. Like, just get out of there. That's something. That's really something. And I think that's the reason why people like we would be out because I'm a homeschooler, homeschool mom, homeschool family. And we started homeschooling when did we start homeschooling? 2011. 2011. So I had a fourth grader, second grader, first grader, and then the youngest was in he had just went to preschool. So here it was at like, listen, I'm telling you, because as moms, it's like, boy, I was almost there. I almost felt like freedom, right? You put them boys in school, and it's like, yes, right? I could go back to work. I could I could be free for a couple of hours today. And I had a home-based business, so I'm feeling like I could get more done around the house and then focus on my business and then my work and everything. And then go pick up the kids after school. It was just, I had it all mapped out in my head. That's not what the creator had planned for me at all. And so it was soon as those went to school and well, no, they were the other three, they were in school. And then I just had the youngest one, the baby. He's not a baby anymore. Trust me, that boy big. Anyway, and it was that time though. It was like, yep, now it's time to bring them on home because of the things that I saw happening. I'm like, what in the, I had never experienced that in, with the whole school thing with my children, had never experienced the things that I started to see being like ushered in. And it was like, okay, this is the year. It's time to go ahead and take them out. and, and but then I'm sitting up there like, but I was just about to be free. All of them was about to be in school. I was about to be free. Like, no. So they were at home. I did go ahead and send the kid to the pre-K program. It was only half a day. And so we did a thing where we would do our homeschooling, stuff. But then I would always take them out somewhere. We would go. That was just that thing. Like, I wanted my children to have experiences where learning was just more than sitting down in a classroom. Then I learned and just sitting there. But this is not an advocation for, home. Hey, everybody homeschool. I mean, well, shoot, everybody pretty much is now. But then, but but I didn't want to be sitting in the house all day. So it was like, okay, get your lesson, get your work done, because by 12, we are out of here, right? We were going to the city, we were going to the museum, the planetariums, like wherever we could go. I didn't care if we just went to the Millennium Park and we just, or we just drove downtown Lakeshore Drive. I was just taking them places so that we could be out the house, but then they can see the city. If we was going to look at in the wealthy neighborhoods, Barrington, just whatever, so we could get out the house. And so that just gave them a different, feel, to where when we were out somewhere, we're going, sitting down to eat, I would always have these older, because the older people would be out. While everybody is at work, I'm gonna tell you the people that would be outside. The retired, okay, elderly, and stay-at-home moms. we were all out, and we had the public all to ourselves, right? The stores and everything, just all to ourselves. So all of us were trying to get everything in during the day and get home before 3 o'clock, because that's when the traffic and all of that kind of stuff would start. And so, we'd be out, and I have my sons. It was 4 of them that were homeschooled, because the other 3 were adults. And so, we're all sitting out having lunch or something like that. And the elderly people, they would be looking, and they would always come to us. Oh, your children are so well behaved. Oh, they're so, and I'm kind of looking like, what else are they supposed to be? Bouncing all over the building? Yeah, they well behaved, but it didn't dawn on me, because to me, it was like, this was regular. Like, this is regular behavior, but that's because they just weren't sitting around not doing anything, especially at that time, and but then when I thought about it in comparison to, you have to just be sitting there, and these children have to just sit there and then be let out. It's almost kind of like being let out of a cage, and that type of thing. I'm like, oh, that's why they were saying, like, no wonder, because when you just don't have that freedom to move about, maybe you will feel like that. Maybe you will feel like, oh, I gotta, I gotta do this, I gotta do it, because it's not regularly where you're just at ease and you can move about freely to do the things that you would do. That freedom, right? Freedom doesn't mean just go out and do anything. And when I say that, I mean that, like, it seems like freedom sometimes comes with a negative connotation to some people, because they think that to be free means that you just do whatever wrong or ill thing that you want to do. That's not freedom. That is not freedom. That is the total opposite of freedom, right? But we had so much freedom to where we were content. They were content. And it was just normal. Just normal. So with that being free, right? On this Freedom Friday, and even speaking about like financial freedom. Okay. Here's the thing that happens when people do not have financial freedom. That's like those children that would just be locked up in a cage, like, like in this building. And then when you release them, like being released out into the wild, right? When you release them outside, they're, so when we're not financially free, when it's like our finances are like locked up, or they have a cap on it, a limit. I only make this much an hour, right? Or I only have this cap on this salary. Then when you get something, or you get something extra or whatever, look, tax refund, that's really not extra. That's not extra at all. It just means that, number one, you're overpaid in taxes. That's money that you could have had the whole time, right? Especially, look, when you have a home-based business, you can do that, right? You fill out your W-4 correctly, you have that money right back into your own, paycheck, and then not go out and spend it, because that's what would be like those children that's locked up in the classroom, and then you let them outside to play, and they're like, so you get some extra money. And like I said, the tax refund is not extra, it's a refund. This is your money that they've traded all day and every day in the Forex market, $7.3 trillion market, and they making bank off of money that you letting them hold. But it's that miseducation, or not being educated on that at all. So it's not even your fault, right? But it is if you hear this and then you don't ask about it, right? It's like you can contact me and ask me all about it, and I'll give you the whole sauce, right? And then show you how you can take those savings and do what the banks do, to where then you become financially free, and you're not like these children that, and you taking your money and just, you know what I'm saying? You want to make it rain, and it's like, okay, well, what did you do with that? Like when you made it rain, did it grow? Did like what happened? What happened? What happened with it? Right? So that's what that's all about. That financial freedom, to where when you're financially free, you're actually content. You don't feel like I have to go, get some more money, buy something. Get some more money, buy something. Get this, buy something. Get that, buy something. You better believe, we talked about that earlier today on our coaching call. Listen, it is a holiday every month. And it's at least one holiday every month in the US, and possibly 2 or 3 a month in the US, designed to do what? For folks to spend money. For people to spend money. Oh, it's a holiday, I have to spend some money. Oh, I had to spend some money. Oh, I got to spend some more money. And it's just bombarding you with the ads and the advertisements and the this and the that, and the advertisements that make you feel like, you're not this, but if you have this, then you'll feel like this, and people buy it every single time. Every single time they buy it. Oh my gosh, you know what? I didn't even, hold on. I'm out here in these streets. I didn't even set up properly. Oh, where's my thing? There we go. Wait, let me come on over here. All right. Monique said, that's just how life goes. Just when we think we have a master plan. Exactly. Just when you think you got it, You don't, right? Um, oh, excuse me, hold on. But I'm sitting up here, look, my little ticker. I don't know what happened. I don't know how I missed that. But yeah, we just look. They have every way available out here to get every dime that you could possibly use to invest and not have to wait. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the U.S. stock market if that's what you do. Because I won't sit up here and act like I don't have some stocks because I do, right? Because you can just let that sit there and mature or whatever, and it's gonna do what it do. It's gonna go up and down and up and down, but then they also manipulate some things, and I mean, hey, it just happens. Um, you have a bit more control when it comes to the foreign exchange market. Okay. And you don't have to wait for things to mature. Really, all you have to do is wait for yourself to mature. And what I mean by that is I don't mean wait for yourself to mature like, you have to wait till you get older. No. I'm just talking about being a mature trader. And that's really dependent on you. For instance, as a matter of fact, I should have had him on. Is it a new month? When did I have Ryan on here? Talking about my 16-year-old. He'll be 17 in May. But he's there. Right? He's there. And he talked about it earlier. He said there's a book that every trader must have. And it's not just the Candlestick Bible. Okay, we must have that, the Candlestick Bible, but it's called Trading in the Zone. It's a book that every trader must have because it helps you to really like identify like where you are. You have to be mentally, psychologically, and emotionally in a good place. And that's that maturity part, right? Before you really get into the market. Because if you're not, you might as well look. We stay in your demo, right? Stay in your demo until you get it. Otherwise, no, you will quit. You will quit. But I'm sitting up here about to holler up the stairs like he'll be able to hear me and mess up my voice when I forget that I'm not on my phone. Let's see, what's I doing? Save draft and save that. Why all of a sudden? What's going on with my voice? You know what? Girl, look, listen. Today is not that day. Neither is tomorrow. Let me call this child of mine. What is going on here with my phone? Oh, here we go. Let me see if he'll come downstairs. Or let me see if I could put him on speaker. That's probably what I'll do. Can y'all hear this phone ringing? Asshole, my phone. I'm trying to phone a friend. See, I'd have lost. Okay, thank you, Tay.
Your call has been forwarded.
See, I'd have lost $1 million. I'm trying to phone a friend. Why she gonna call me back? I fell asleep. I was taking a nap. Most likely because listen, and I give it to him, and because he tried to stay up for the London session. He up in the middle of the night. You trust and believe. That's what he doing. He is up, London session out, on them charts, all of that. But I was calling him because he was talking about earlier about being an emotionally mature trader. And he was speaking he was speaking about somebody, of course, much older than him, and just the things that they have going on with their trading. And he's like, although they're older than me, I can see that they're not ready yet with this. They're not emotionally mature yet with this. And so they're making all of these mistakes that said if you really just know the basics, you shouldn't even be making these mistakes. And he's like, and maybe I feel like I'm ahead of the curve with that because, we did the emotional intelligence, we did that in homeschool like when I was 15. And I was like, we sure did. Right? We sure did, son. Okay. We had a whole thing on emotional intelligence. And a lot of my classes that I take as far as like my CEUs in order to keep up my licensure and the certifications and all of that stuff, I share that information with them because I'm like, shoot, I have to have it in order to work with people. And so this is something that they should. Yes, it is, right? Emotional intelligence is such a thing, right? And it's about being heart smart. That's what emotional intelligence is being heart smart, right? We have EQ and we have IQ. So there's a lot of people with the IQ and very low EQ, but you have to have EQ too. So emotional intelligence and, the intellect, the intelligence must be balanced. All head, no heart. Because listen, it's only 10% really being absorbed. Oh, I don't want to say absorbed, but the information or the intel, right? What we entail, 10% here. But the heart memory is 90%. This is why we have to do things over and over and over again, that repetition, right? Repetition. Because when we do it repetitiously, guess what we start saying? Oh, I know that by heart. You're not even thinking about it. This requires the intellect, right? But you're not even thinking about it. You go home the same way all the time when you're going from, like, say, your job. Okay? You got a job. And then the way you drive home. Now, there may be different routes that you can go, right? When I live somewhere, I always find alternative routes because something can happen, right? It may be some type of traffic jam or something like that that's going on. Where we used to live, we always got caught by trains. I mean, it was trains around. So it's like, okay, in order to not get caught by this train, and it would be at a certain time of day. And if I was out at that certain time of day and I'm knowing that a train could possibly be there, I would go around a different way. But even those different ways, those 2, maybe 3 or 4 other ways of getting to the same destination, I knew them by heart, right? I didn't have to think about it. You just know how to go. And some people, we call it autopilot. You dial a number. Well, you dial that number all the time. I know it by heart memory, because this is something that you're doing repetitiously all the time. So when you're doing that, and with that, like we're talking about emotional intelligence, that heart memory, and having that balance with the intellect. Now we're talking about reason, right? Reasoning. You can't. This is what's laughable to me a lot of times. But again, this comes with education. I thought you was right. It comes with the education. But people will say things like, you know, you're being emotional, or, you know, don't be emotional, or such and such emotional, blah, 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 blah. You know, just kind of all of that. And what they're really talking about is you're in your lower frequency emotions. The highest emotion on the lower frequency scale, or on the lower emotional frequency scale, is pride. Pride is an emotion. Many people operate there, and they think that it's confidence, but it's not. It's pride, right? And so there are many other people. Desire, and when I say desire, meaning like lustful desire, the apathy, the anger, guilt, resentment, shame is the lowest of the lower frequency emotions. Courage is an emotion. This was when you're going up into the higher frequency emotions. This is when you're breaking free. We're talking about freedom on Freedom Friday, right? And when you go into the higher frequency emotions, the more you rise into those higher frequency emotions, guess what? Guess what starts to happen? Because when we understand that money is energy, because money is currency, and currency is a current, and a current is energy. You see how we connect those dots? What they are? Money is energy. Energy is currency. Currency is a current. And there we have it, right? So when it's higher, then what happens? We talk about law of attraction here. So courage is an emotion. Willingness is an emotion. Acceptance is an emotion. Reason is an emotion. And let me see if I can find it. Reason is an emotion. So, you know, oh, being emotional. Reason is an emotion. We do want to be there when we're starting to make some decisions, but being heart smart has a lot to do with that. And that's emotional energy as well, but it's reason. And that's on a higher frequency or a higher scale, about what, 450 or so megahertz there. What am I looking for? And I'm looking for this scripture. We say, come now, let us reason together. There we go. It's one of my favorite scriptures. Isaiah 1:18. Come now, let us reason together, saith Yahweh. Though your sins or your ignorance, because that's what sin is, it just means ignorance. Come now, let us reason together, saith Yahweh. Though your ignorance or sin be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If you be willing and obedient, you shall eat of the good of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it. Reason. Say, come now, let us reason together. The higher frequency, right? What is the most highest frequency than the frequency of the creator of all things living, the creator of heaven and earth, the creator of the new heaven and new earth, because there is such a thing, and all things that exist. What is the more higher frequency than that? And guess what? Not going to go down or go any lower than reason, right? Now, we have to bring ourselves up to that point. But It's like this is where we meet the creator at reason. And it is an emotion. Okay. So, and so it's just kind of funny when I hear people say, that about being emotional, because they think that just to be emotional means that, you're just all like in a frenzy and crying and stuff like that. Like, no, reason is an emotion. Okay. Love is an emotion. Joy is an emotion. Enlightenment is an emotion. Peace, that's an emotion too. We just want to be on the higher frequency emotions so that we begin to attract at that level. And then we begin to attract more, attract abundance, attract that overflow, attract those things. And when we are there, then we're content. And we're not like those little kids that's out there being locked in a cage, like locked up in the classroom. And then when you finally let them out the building, they're like, ah, us, ah, right? Contentment. And so that's what we'll be. And that's where we find ourselves. Look, when we really have truly tapped into or stepped into freedom. Everybody that I know, the ones that I know, listen. Look, where we live, right? And things are it's to be sold. That's just the world we live in. Okay. And so in selling certain things, selling certain products or whatever, you have to look like this or look like that or look like, and the start of it was that whole remember, if anybody remembers lifestyles of the rich and famous. Now that was back in the 80s. And then the newer version would be the and I don't even know if they still have this show going on. I don't, because I don't know if it's still going on. But the MTV Cribs, remember, let me show you my crib, and all of this stuff. And I have like 1,000 cars in my big old driveway that I built. That's like a whole additional house for my cars. And just all of that. Now here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to have, or whatever. However, most of the wealthy people that I will say that I know, the ones that I know personally, and the ones that I know them from, or met them from other people that I know personally, who know them personally, they all say the same thing. Like, they don't really spend their money like that, not frivolously, right? Or they may have for a certain time or at a certain point. And then it's like, okay, it's kind of like a, now that I got that out my system type of thing, right? And it's a blessing if you're able to do that and still accumulate wealth. Some people have done that and it was detrimental because I don't know. Maybe they didn't make the right investments or something. I have no idea. But it's just kind of that thing. I've gotten that out my system. And so they don't spend money like that. Just it just don't happen like that. And it's more so invested to continue to grow, because that's what it's all about. Like putting the dollars to work, because it can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or at least 24 hours a day, 5 days a week on the Forex market, because that's where it's been. It's a $7.3 trillion market. It's not even that many people on the earth. There's like 7 billion people on the earth at one time, at all times. So 7.3 trillion and 7 billion people on the earth. It seems like that's enough for everybody, right? It seems like it should be. But when we talk about education and being educated, like, education is the key to success. Education is the proper education. Being educated on those things that truly matter. Being educated on why is personal development and financial literacy lacking in the school system? Why is it lacking? I know why, but why is it lacking? From Harvard scholars to worker bees. Look that up. It was a DVD that I happened to just run across one time. This was before I even started homeschooling. I don't know where I came across that DVD, but I bought it. It was like a 2-part or something. No, it was that one, and it was this other one. From Harvard scholars to worker bees, and it talked about the whole, like the decline of the American education, not just a district or a certain state or a region. It said the decline of the American education. And watching that video, because they went into the history starting from the top to the bottom. And when I mean the top to the bottom, how it infiltrated the universities. And then it was a trickle down of that. And that's scary. It's very scary. And I say that because we're talking about, we're still on that, hey, and which is true. Yes, you do need education. Education can be freedom. It can be freedom. But again, proper education and being educated on the things that matter to help you to become free. If you're not, right? But understanding that in this time, there is the, clank, clank, 13th Amendment, slavery, a lockdown. But then there's also one that you can't, it's like almost like you can't see it, feel it, touch it, but you know that it's there. Now I sound like the Matrix. I can't see it, feel it, touch it, but you know that it's there. And it's called debt, being a debt slave. Debt slave, debt slavery. Who's in debt? If we have a mortgage, if we have a student loan, if we have a car note, if we have credit card debt, if we have any debt that we are paying back, we're all debt slaves. And so we have to have the jobs. Nothing wrong with a job, but it's something wrong with it when that's what you have to do because you have to pay back a debt. Your debt as well as national debt. Though don't seem like it's going anywhere. But it can when people get free. Because if there's national debt, why is there national debt? Because the citizens of this country are in debt. That's why. So we can actually help this country become financially free when we individually and in our households and in our neighborhoods and in our communities, right? Starting with the macro and going to the micro, become financially free. So I'm going to end that on this note with saying one of the ways, I'm just saying it's one. but it's one that I know that people can do, where you don't have to have, all of this stuff, right? Well, I need to have this, and I have to have that, and I have to have this social security number, and I have to have this paperwork, and I have to have such and such, and I have to have, whatever thousands of dollars in order to do this, that, and the other. Like, you don't need all of that. You really don't. You don't. What you need, now you do need an investment, but you need an investment of about, and I'm saying total. This is total, right? Like our program, and I'm inviting you all to this tonight. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up. Pull it up. Do I have it on here? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna have to create it. I will create it. This is where I want you to go. Be extra. Nope. Yeah. Be extreme. Because we have a community of people who are becoming financially free. Okay, financially free. So time freedom, financial freedom, debt freedom, all of these things. And when I say free, just free, like free of, okay, well, and don't get me wrong, nothing is wrong with this either. If you getting the grants or whatever, like, more power to you, right? I mean, it's a great thing. Okay, it's a great thing. But there are many people who have not gotten them for whatever reason. They can sit up there and do the same thing and put in the same paperwork and all of that, and then for some reason you just wasn't. You didn't get it, and it don't mean well, you wasn't blessed if you did. That's some of the most childish. Why are we like this? Right? I mean, whoo, Lord, why are we like this? But listen, if you don't want nothing to do with none of all of that, because that don't have nothing to do with it. Because let me. Oh, look, I'm always grabbing from a Bible. It's like you could just look it up on your phone real quick. You could just look it up on your phone really, really quick. Deuteronomy. Now, of course, I could just say it, but I just like to pull it up. So you can see exactly where it is for your own self with your own eyeballs, right? Because Deuteronomy chapter 28, it talked about the blessings and the curses. And it shall come to pass, if you will hearken diligently unto the voice of, and I'm reading from, the Holy Name Bible, right? Which contains the Old and the New Testaments, is critically campaigned by ancient authorities, various manuscripts revised by the late A.B. Trainer through the Scripture Research Association, and reprinted by Youre Promotions. It has the Hebrew true names in those scriptures. Okay, so it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that Yahweh your Elohim will set you on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on you and overtake, the blessings will overtake you. The blessings will overtake you. Where we at? If you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, blessed you shall be in the city, and blessed you shall be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle, and the increase of your kine, Kine, and the flocks of your sheep. Because I mean, in those days, their abundance or their wealth was in their cattle, in their sheep, and the land, and all of that, because that continued to produce, right? I mean, if I had cattle and I want to go out here and milk, okay, I can milk the cow, right? You can milk it, and I have jugs and jugs of to put the milk in, right? Now I do what I need to do, of course, and then settle it out there in the marketplace. Well, what was my my manufacturing, my production? The cow. The cow is my money, right? So then when you sin to sin, meaning that you broke the law, it want no money. Nah, I'm gonna need that cow about you. Bring the cow, you gotta sacrifice it. Well, what did that do? That just took away your whole production, right? The cow, I'm gonna need that. The cow, that was your money right there. So, forget the couple of dollars. No, give me the cow. You had to really think about their wealth. They had to bring those sacrifices. Those were the sacrifices because of their sin, what they did. Like, okay, you go out here and you run the light, ticking, you had a budget, you had your money and everything. So you run the light or, whatever, you get the red light flash, blah. And that wasn't in your budget. So it's like, dang, I got this ticket, $100, $20, or, whatever, and you got to pay it. Okay. But that don't hurt as much as the way that you're it's like this. You go out there and sin and you lose your whole job. It's like, yeah, let me get that job about you. I bet you won't do it again. Or if you do, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just took away the whole way that I make money, right? That's how you have to look at when they had to bring in those sacrifices like that, because of ignorance. What is ignorance? What's the root word of ignorance? To ignore. You ignored the law, either because you wasn't taught it or you didn't teach yourself it. So it was ignorance or to ignore the law. And when you ignore the law, what? Are you excused? Nope. Nope, not at all. So, look, blessed should be your basket and your store. Blessed shall you be when you come in and when you go out. Yahweh shall cause your enemies that rise up against you to be smitten before your face, and they shall come out. Look, they shall come out against you one way and flee before you in 7 ways. Oh my gosh, it's just so many blessings. All these blessings. All the way up until the 14 verses of blessings. Then talk about these curses. But it shall come to pass, if you will not hearken to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments and statutes that I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and shall overtake you. So you went from the blessings overtaking you to the curses overtaking you, right? Curse shall you be in the city. Curse shall you be in the field. Curse shall be your basket in your store. Curse shall be the fruit of your body. Your kids, your children. That's the fruit of your body. Curse should be the fruit of the land and the increase of your kind and the flocks of your sheep. Curse you should be when you come in. Curse you should be when you. That's a lot. Hold on. Then the pestilence shall cleave unto you. The vexation with Yahweh shall smite you with consumption and with the fever and with inflammation and with extreme burning and with the sword and with blasting and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. Now, it's because of what you're doing Inflammation. You got inflammation in your body. What you doing? It's a law being broken somewhere. A law of food or something. Something. I'm trying to get to this. The debt, the scab and the itch. Folks is itching. Black. Listen. And this and the ox and the debt. Where's the debt? It's a whole lot of them. Look, it's the locust shall consume you, and moreover, for a sign and a wonder, and the nations, and let's see, in the town, Yep, I remember that. I definitely remember that part. And the sickness and the blah 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 and the and the that's look, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. Okay, I'm still going down to this debt because it talked about being the look, the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. That's Proverbs. The borrower is servant to the lender. But then there's also where you should be the lender and not the borrower. You should be the head and not the tail. But when you are, and see, I almost got to go. See, it's so many. Look, you got to read this whole chapter, Deuteronomy chapter 28, because it's like 68 verses. Should have started that in the beginning. It's like 68. Is it 68 verses? And I'm trying to scan through it, but I can't scan. I cannot scan through it. It's oh shoot. Yeah, it's 68 verses. But look, read it. Deuteronomy 28. Talk about the blessings and talk about the curses. And we don't want curses on our finances. We don't want to be the lender, the borrower. I was blessed with this loan. Now when it's usury is against the law. I'm not going to lie on the creator like that. I'm not going to do it. Usury is against the law. Join me tonight at bigstream.info. Password is sharp. Okay, so next time I'll at least have this on here for next time. At what time? 8 p.m. Central. 9 p.m. Eastern. Because what you want to know is this right here. How to trade on the Forex market. Right? We're starting our trading plan. Very simple trading plan. Starting with $100. We're compounding it. You can compound it yourself. You don't have to try to wait from some compound interest later on down the line. Some point, whatever, some percent. And then you look up and you just have a couple of cents. Like, no, we're not doing that 2021 and beyond. Right? We're compounding $100 for 12 weeks. We're going to teach you how to catch these pips, right? 10 pips a day off $100. compound following the plan, you're talking about over $20,000 in 12 weeks, right? Or 30 pips a day, $100 compound, 12 weeks, where you're talking about over 60,000 just in 12 weeks, right? But not only that, because like it said in the scriptures, we're supposed to have several streams of income while we have one. Or, and this is what I find a lot of people doing too, okay? I'm have, multiple streams of income, but what you have is multiple jobs. You have multiple jobs. That's not it, right? Multiple streams of income does not mean multiple jobs. It's like one active, if that's what you got to do at a particular point, because I mean, hey, you didn't come from a wealthy family or anything like that. You got to pay your bills, all of that. But then you also have to have something in order for you to, a portion to save, in order for you to invest, to have those dollars work. Not you go work a second or third. No, you have one already that requires about 8 to 10 hours of your time. And I say 10 hours because it might be a commute, an hour there and a commute, an hour back. So that's 10 hours of your day. It's 12 hours in a day and 12 hours at night, right? So 10 of those day hours already gone just at the job, right? 10. So, and that other four, what is it that you can do that you could just put, little bit of effort, because people get second, part-time jobs and usually like 4 hours or whatever. But do you know you could do so much more in that time? As a matter of fact, if you learn this skill set, you can. I had somebody get totally upset because they had made more money, like whatever they made for their work day on their job, they made more than double. How about I think they made like let's just say 500. I think it was somewhere around 5-ish or something like that. But like $500 just from their cell phone on a trade. And it wasn't days, right? It wasn't like days or weeks or months in a trade. It was just they had entered in their trades and made that much, like 500 or something dollars in that trade. And they were still at work. And they like, I made this in a day, not even a full day. I made this sitting here at my job. And they did that consistently. And they were like, I'm out of here. No, this is an insult. Like, why didn't nobody tell me this? But the bank's been doing it the whole time, right? So here's the thing. When will you decide to be financially free is the question. When will you decide to be financially free? When will you decide to have time freedom? And this is not about anybody and everybody on earth quitting their job, because there are a lot of people who's like, I love my job, but I still, I could still do this, but they can do it freely. They don't have the burden to feel like I have to be here because I have to make this money. It's like that job money is just like pocket change and something to do in their time because they don't have anything else to do in that 8 hours that they're there. But they just happy now. Just joy coming into work, like, everybody else looking at them like, why they so happy? Oh, would you feel great going to work like that when look, I don't have to be here. I'm here though. I'm here because I want to be here, not because I have to be. Like, I could walk out of here right now and it wouldn't affect my house, my financially. Like, do you want to be in that mind frame? Right? And some people do want to leave their jobs because they want to have their own business or something like that. That's fine too. It's just really about being free, right? Feeling free emotionally, feeling free, just those limitations that it's invisible though. It's an invisible freaking limitation, but you know that it's there. But it's up to you. It's up to you. It is really up to you and nobody else. That's all. All you got to do is invest in yourself. And I know we hear that a whole lot of times, because invest in you. Trust me, I heard it millions of times. I'm investing in me. And then I'm like, this didn't really give me the return. This didn't give me the return that I thought it would give, And so I stopped. I look, I was the first one to be like, as soon as I heard it, it's like, here go that spiel again. But no, it's really an investment. It's a great one. It's great. I mean, I would not have just about all my children over here learning this skill set if I didn't think that it was, it might be something, okay, let me just try this out or whatever. Okay, that'll just be me. But I saw what it did for me. Hey, my children need to learn this, if anything, because I need them to be financially independent. We have a whole community, young guns over here. Our youth, ages 8 to 21, killing it. Look, y'all gonna let these kids show y'all up? Y'all gonna let these children make all the money? Because they doing it. They doing it. Y'all gonna let these kids make all the money? I'm saying it. Y'all gonna let all these children make all the money? Look, I want mine to, cause I'm gonna get older one day, right? I'm being real kind to them. You forget that you took care of your children in the beginning, hopefully, and in the end, they are responsible for taking care of you. You better let these children make all this money. Okay, now I'm done for Freedom Friday. Listen, join me tonight at beextreme.info. The password is shark in all caps, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're usually here on this link like daily, right? I have my Chicago stream that's at 7 on Thursdays, but we did that yesterday. We'll do that every week. And we're about to take Chicago by storm. The Chicagoland area and surrounding suburbs. Yes, we are. But right now, tonight, you want to join me here on this link, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, beextreme.info, password shark, all caps. Okay, so you all have a wonderful Financial Freedom Friday. Want to get to the point of really being truly financially free, so you don't have to feel like these children may be locked up in a what's up? That's leave-in conditioner. Do you need leave-in conditioner? Is it because you have that hat on all the time? You will just get a haircut and put that hat on your head. So you're going to put that on and then put the hat back on so it could dry out whatever moisture that you call yourself putting on your head. Listen, let me turn this camera off before, I don't want you. Listen, I'll see y'all later. Peace.
I'm not going to put the hat on after I do my hair.
Yes, you are.
No,
you do it when you get it, after you get a haircut. You'll be all fresh, lined up with the little stuff on it, the spray. He put on the.